Greetings there, blade fans. Welcome back to This Old Sword Blade Reviews. This Old Sword's with you, and you may recall not that long ago I showed you this unique knife made by Kizer and designed by Dirk Pinkerton, and it is called the Variable Wharncliffe. It's a neck knife that could be carried elsewhere, and this one's in D2. A lot of D2 out there these days. I think they're coming back to it because it does have some good value and can be hardened up pretty well and resharpened pretty well, even though it's about 50% stain resistant, not stainless. Although no steel is 100% stainless, maybe some of the specialty steels. I think that one from Spyderco, the Salt, was made in a steel that has no carbon content or no ferrous content, whatever it is that rusts. I'm getting off on a tangent. But this is the Variable Wharncliffe. Kind of a cool knife, lots of different ways to hold it. You can place your thumb on the back of this with the jimping on there. You can put the middle finger through and kind of use it as a push dagger, although this one's got a bluntish sort of a variable Wharncliffe. A Wharncliffe point, right? Comes through pretty sharp, and it's got this little nub of a handle there. So, you know, you can hold it this way if you wanted. You could put your pinky through, hold it this way. But anyway, it's not about this knife today, but I thought I'd show you this because that's one that's out there and available from Kizer. The Variable Wharncliffe comes in a Kydex sheath with a neck lanyard. Well, I got this in recently, and this is a custom called the Broadhead. Same concept as the Kizer Variable Wharncliffe, except this was the original that Dirk had turned out and has made a few more of recently. You'll find that custom makers will occasionally make additional runs of knives. And here we have, the Broadhead. And it is pointy and piercy. This one's from S35VN, custom made and custom ground, hand ground by Dirk Pinkerton in the US of A from his North Carolina shop. And what you see there is not a tumble or a bead blast or a any type of added finish, but that's the original mill scale, the way that the steel comes in. So before he grinds them, he decided to leave that on. So you have kind of a tumbled looking finish, but even rougher than that. And then it matches or mates beautifully with this nice satin grind that he puts on there. And he is a master grinder. Everything always lines up beautifully, perfectly. It's hard to even, there it is. Look at that. Look at that. 100% symmetrical. Gorgeous knife. As with the Variable Wharncliffe, you can go push dagger this way and cut. And that knife is probably not coming out of your hand. There is no way for somebody to pry that out of your hand without getting cut on the blade. So, the concept is sort of like many knives that Fred Perrin has designed and many that Bastian Cove of Bastinelli Knives has designed. With the one hole, and the hole is not on the back, as with a ring knife, it is forward of the handle. This one has a really nice G-Carta handle on it. You got a few different colors. I picked this one. I like the black with the gray. Got those nice lines going through it. Bob DeMarco of the Knife Junkie recently showed you his. He got one in from Dirk a week or so ago. And so by the time this video drops, you will have already seen that one. This one's just a little different, but same knife. So again, you could put your pinky through and go pical with this knife. And it's in there pretty firm in my hand. I'm holding it underneath the middle finger and I'm closing the rest of the fist around it. You know, without reaching in here and trying to pry my hand away or me thrusting with it and having it come out of the hand, I think, you know, it's pretty secure. As far as how quickly you can get it into that position, that may be another matter. The sheath has no mounting hardware. Dirk does that when he sends you customs. It is up to you as to how you want to mount that. Very easily, you could neck carry this knife. Although what I'm noticing is that this is not in there nearly as tight as the Variable Wharncliffe Kizer, but still takes that much to get it out. We have an offset position of the blade, and I didn't know why, except maybe to protect the blade from coming through. But when Bob reviewed his, he said, well, he thinks that is for being able to position this a certain way in the pocket so it's slightly canted. And I agree with that. So it gives you a full row of eyelets here for different mounting positions with like an ulti clip, with a DCC clip, what have you. This will go deep down in the pocket and, you know, like that, or on the belt, however you choose. We see that some of the detail here is the steel, CPM S35VN, a really great steel, both for custom knife makers as well as a lot of production knives. We've got two Torques here. They're pretty large size. I don't know that you'd want to take this off. Certainly, if you're going to customize and try making a handle, this would be an easy one to start with. Just those two little pebbles to come off of there, and then you'd sketch them out and, you know, maybe make your own. But this is a beautiful material. I don't have any plans to remove it. So you got those screws on both sides. Oh, got a frog in the throat. And obviously they don't go in very far into that steel, but they do anchor it in. And I don't think there's any glue employed here, so it should be able to be removed. Again, I haven't tried it. So hand positions for this. Index finger seems to be about the best because you can pull the knife out and it's right there. If you wanted to, you could hold it like that, but now it's kind of questionable as to whether you'd be able to hang on to it. Middle finger, I don't know that you'd go ring finger. It'd be kind of odd, but certainly middle finger bent at the middle knuckle and this jammed into the palm gives you a lot of reinforcement on jabs and thrusts with this knife. And no, this isn't designed to be an EDC, you know, cut up your steak and food with it, but, you know, I suppose you could. You got a pretty good edge on that. And Dirk's knives are all extremely well sharpened. So here we brought a little paper into the picture for you. And since this is really primarily a thrusting piercy knife, well, let's try that first. Oh yeah, I mean, there is nothing to it. Push and cut. Will the edge slice? Well, let's find out. Not extremely well. Again, it's a high grind. But yeah, I mean, there's an edge on it for sure. It's just, again, kind of tall and not designed to be a slicey knife. Let's get some of that stuff off of there. Feels like a razor, would shave you for sure. A little bit smooth, not too aggressive. But with just a little bit of momentum behind that, it's going to do its thing. I did show you the Variable Wharncliffe. So here, for side-by-side comparison, you'll see that they're pretty much pretty close to the same. The handles are the same. Let's zoom in just a little bit. And these dimensions are pretty much the same except for the profile of the knife. Got a little more usable knife here as far as EDC goes. Holes the same size, very much the same knife. The custom is a bit longer by about 1/2 inch. So you get that extra piercing effect. For comparison, here's another neck knife that's very much on the small scale down size. This is the Hex, produced by Concept Knives, designed by Ostap Hell. And obviously, it's got the hexagonal finger hole there. Kind of a karambitish kind of ring knife. Holds well, very well in that position. And you got sort of the Wharncliffe thing going on here. So you've got a good usable blade that's extremely small. But that's coming in very close to the same length as the Broadhead. Put that aside, and we'll just show you another Dirk custom knife. This one he calls the Urban Nomad, and this is he's known for his Wharncliffe style blades, and this certainly is one. This is a custom. This is from MagnaCut, and he was sad to see this one go. He sold it to me, but he said it was one of his favorites. It was going to be a keeper. And here we got kind of a nice two-tone OD green and black G10. Got the same 4 screws holding the handle on. Really nicely done. There's Dirk's insignia. And it's interesting, his insignia is sort of that, the D and the P, if you notice, are kind of made up of the shape of the Broadhead, which is, I guess, is considered to be his signature blade. You can see that the Broadhead is much, much smaller for portability. Nice light knife here, though, with the, again, what he's calling the Urban Nomad. Wicked sharp. I wonder if this will cut some paper. If I got any paper left here. Yeah. See, that's where you've got a much taller grind, a wider grind, and you're going to be able to get that sharpened up a little better than on any kind of a dagger grind, usually. Well, let me know what you think. That is the Dirk Pinkerton Custom Broadhead. These are coming in a bit under 200, I think. You can go to Dirk's website and see what he has available. Sometimes there's things available. Sometimes you would need to order from him on a custom one-off basis. Okay, again, give it a like if you would, and subscribe. And you'll get notified when I post new videos and stuff and shorts. Take care.